Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sada Pranam.
Okay, so my screen is visible, I think. Here I can see this.
Yes, Prabhuji.
My voice is audible.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so this is the last sloka of Isopanishad we are going to see. Till now we have seen the 15th sloka. My screen is my video is visible nicely, Mataji. Is there any problem?
All okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Pranam.
Yeah. Okay. So today we are going to see the last sloka of Isopanishad. So before that, we'll start with Mangalacharan. Then we'll go through the sloka and the explanation. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpadakamelam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay. So in last sloka number 17, what we have read, can anyone tell me quickly?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
In sloka number 17, we have read the prayer that let this body be burnt into ashes, life prayer can merge into. Oh Lord, please remember whatever I have done towards you. Prayer, whatever I have done towards your devotional research, please remember me. Actually, this prayer is in Isopanishad, but we need not remind Krishna, because at that end of that life, Krishna only remembers us. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. So that was we have seen that was the request from the yogi side. Okay, so because even Krishna says that even if a devotee forgets me at the time of death, it is not possible for a devotee to forget, because he is thinking Krishna 24/7. There is no engagement of him rather than thinking about Krishna. That is called the pure devotee, pure devotional services. And if that condition is there, Krishna also remembers that person. And so that thing is, so it is not possible for a person who is a pure devotee to forget Krishna, because he is in 24/7, he is in constant remembrance with Krishna. His mind is full of Krishna, his life is full of Krishna, his activity is full of Krishna. There is nothing except Krishna. He sees everywhere Krishna's hand, he sees in everything Krishna's hand. So for a devotee, it is not possible to forget Krishna anytime. Okay, so that was the part from the yogi side. Now we are moving to sloka number 18, where we are seeing sloka number 18. Yes, so we have the sloka number 18 open in the screen. So any volunteers to move forward? So we'll just increase the font size. Yes.
May I try, sir?
Hare Krishna, Pratima Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Agne Naya Supatharaye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yodasmajjuhuranam Meno Puishtante Nama Uktim Videma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So synonyms.
Okay. Agne, O my Lord, as powerful as fire, kindly lead, Onaya, kindly lead, Supatha by the right path, Raye, for reaching you, Asman, us, Vishwani, all, Deva, O my Lord, Vayunani, actions, Vidwan, the knower, Yuyodhi, kindly remove Asmat from us, Juhuranam, all hindrances on the path, Enah, all vices, Pushtam, most numerous, Te, unto you, Nama, Uktim, words of obeisance, Vidhema, I do. Translation: O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet, O my Lord. Please let me on the right path. Oh, sir, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from all the reactions to my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mati. Thank you very much. So this sloka, you see how nice. This is the last sloka of Isopanishad, and we see in the Isopanishad that the meanings of the slokas are very cryptic and it is very hidden. There is no open discussion about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so you see in this sloka also, "O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, now I offer you all obeisances, falling on the ground at your feet." Okay. "Oh my Lord, please lead me on the right path to reach you. And since you know all that I have done in the past, please free me from the reaction to my past sins so that there will be no hindrance to my progress." So you see, this sloka is also in the request form. Earlier also slokas were in the request form. Last 2-3 sloka we are reading. That is the request from a devotee, from a perspective of a person. Okay. So this sloka is also request to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is the request? The request is that please lead me to the right path. Very important. Please lead me on the right path which reach you. So such a nice request a person is doing. So this is very important part. Okay. So you see, whatever path we acquire, okay, so it depends. So many paths are there. So if you think about the spiritual path only, there are karma kandis are also there. Many, most of the Indians you see there, they are engaged in the karma kanda section. Okay, they will go to the temple, they will do the worship, they will do arti, something, they will offer something, they want something in the return, they will ask something in the return from the Lord. Okay, and they will come, they will do their daily activity, they will conduct some yajna at the home, some sanskara they will do. Okay, so they will do those things, but as in the perspective of karma kandi. Okay, so that also gradually will lead to the Supreme Lord only, but that path is not the perfect path. Okay, some people, they are engaged on the path of Gyan Yoga. Okay, so they don't know anything and they are spiritually inclined, obviously, because they have the spiritual inclination. Okay, and when they have spiritual inclination and they come into the contact of yogis, okay, and then the Gyan yogis, then they follow that path. They go to a secluded place. They try to earn the knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead by reading through all the scriptures, going through the scriptures, and they try to imagine the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how it will be, and that is how they follow. Okay, so they try to acquire the transcendental knowledge. Okay, and um, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante, okay, Gyanvan Mam Prapadyante. Means after taking many births, and acquiring the knowledge through many births, such a devotee finally surrenders unto me. But such a devotee is very rare, and when he surrenders to me, he comes to me. Okay, so that is also a path, but that path is also not perfect. Okay. Some other paths are also there, that Gyan Yoga path, then Dhyan Yoga path is there. In the Dhyan Yoga path, a person does the Ashtanga Yoga. Okay. So he tried to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the 8 limbs of the yoga. Okay. Um, and the final stage of that is the Samadhi. But persons don't go till the Samadhi. Even if he goes to the Samadhi, the goal of the Samadhi is to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But sometimes he is so much allured by the side products of the yoga, that is the Ashtasiddhis. Okay, so he forget the final aim of the path. Okay, so that is also a path, that is the Dhyan Yoga part. And finally, the Bhakti Yoga, where a person does the a person surrenders completely to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he attains the perfection. Okay, he attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he surrenders into the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by surrendering, he attains the the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and due to the mercy, he attains the Supreme Personality. He is in the right path. Okay, so that is the first request in this sloka. Please lead me on the right path to reach you. Okay, lead me on the right path. That is the most. That is very important part. Okay, so if you imagine yourself, if you are in the Karma Kanda part, okay, it will take many life for you to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that too, that part is also very dangerous. Prabhupada will explain in the sloka, okay, how this part is very dangerous. Because in the Karma Kanda, we do karma, okay, we do karma, which is according to the regulative principles of the Shastra, regulative principles of the Veda, and that will lead to gradual elevation from the Karma Kanda to the Jnana Kanda, where we try to achieve some transcendental knowledge. And after, now that after many births of attaining the transcendental knowledge, one person come into the uh, stage of uh, stage of self-realization, and when he comes into the stage of self-realization, he attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is one path of the Karma Kanda, but that path is very dangerous. So imagine you are on the path of the Karma Kanda. Okay, so how much time it will take for us to go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Many people on the Karma Kanda path, many people are born into the India. Okay, they're following the rituals. They from the birth only they know all these things, and they follow this path. Okay, so that is also a path of Karma Kanda path is there. Many people, they come into the they are in the Jnana Kanda section. So imagine you are in the Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda or the Dhyan Kanda, these Kanda section. Then how much time it will take you to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Okay, so that thing is also there, and that too in the Jnana Kanda also it is very difficult for a person to attain the transcendental knowledge. It's not that a person can attain the transcendental knowledge very easily. That also Prabhupada will explain when we go through the purport. So what is the difficulty in the Karma Kanda section? What is the difficulty in the Jnana Kanda section? These two, Prabhupada has nicely explained that there is too much difficulty in this path. Okay, so please put me on the right path. That is the request. So this sloka is telling, please lead me on the right path to reach you. Please put me on the right path. Okay, so please, uh, please put me on the right path so that then I can progress and then I can reach you. Okay, so the best path the devotee or the sloka is asking to put on the on the best path to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the request number one. The second request is to remove the hindrance on my progress, so that there will be no hindrance on my progress. Okay. So first request is please put me on the right path, and second request is please remove all the hindrance which can be there in this path. Okay. So finally, this sloka wants us to lead to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's why he wants to put us in the right path as well as remove the hindrance on the path of self-realization. Okay. So there may be many hindrances even in the path of the devotee also. There are many hindrances when their sadhana is not good, when their sadhana is not perfect, when their association, when their shelter is not perfect, they may fall down also. Okay. So that thing is also there. So in this sloka, the devotee wants all-round protection. Okay. He wants to lead to the, not the devotee, the sloka asking for the all-round protection. Lead me on the right path as well as remove the hindrance from the path. Okay. So that thing is being spoken in the sloka, last sloka of the Isopanishad. So let's go through the purport. The purport is given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. So let's go through. So volunteers.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, may I?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by given A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By surrendering to the Lord and praying for His causeless mercy, the devotee can progress on the path of complete self-realization. The Lord is addressed as fire because He can burn anything into ashes, including the sins of the surrendered soul. As described in the previous mantras, the real or ultimate aspect of the Absolute in His feature as the personality of Godhead and His impersonal Brahma Jyoti feature is a dazzling covering over His face. Fruitive activities or the karma kanda path of self-realization is the lowest stage in this endeavor. As soon as such activities even slightly deviate from the regulative principles of the Vedas, they are transformed into vikarma or acts against the interest of the actor. Such vikarma is enacted by the illusion living entity simply for sense gratification, and thus such activities become hindrances on the path of self realization. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So you see this line. By surrendering to the Lord and praying for His causeless mercy, a devotee can progress on the path of complete self-realization. So many paths are there. Prabhupada directly jumping on the path of self-realization, the path of the surrenderance to the Supreme Person. Okay. So how we can perfect the perfect path? So Prabhupada is describing the perfect path. What is the perfect path? What is the perfect path? Perfect path is surrendering to the Lord. Surrender to the Lord. Leave everything on the hand of the Lord. Whatever you do, whatever you take, whatever you want to do with me, you do. Okay. Whatever activity you want through me to be done in this world, let it be done. My part is to remember 24-hour, remember like Satatam Kirtayantamam. Okay. Remembering Krishna every time, every day, every moment, filling us, our surrounding with Krishna's activity, Krishna's pastimes, reading. Whenever we get time, we read, or whatever time we have, we read, we chant, we remember Krishna. Okay. So that is our activity. And when we surrender, when we do all these things, okay, and we surrender ourselves with Krishna and we surrender to Krishna, okay, then what will happen? That we attain the causeless mercy and praying for His causeless mercy. When we surrender, what we get is causeless mercy of Krishna. Okay. When we surrender, we get the causeless mercy of Krishna. When we get the causeless mercy of Krishna, what will happen? Then we can progress on the part of complete self-realization. We can attain complete self-realization when we attain the mercy of Krishna. When we can attain the mercy of Krishna? When we surrender ourselves to the Krishna. Okay. So that thing is there. That is the path is being described here. So the devotee was the sloka is asking that please show me the right path to reach you. Prabhupada is directly giving the right path, that by surrendering to the Supreme Lord and asking, praying for his causeless mercy, a devotee can progress on the path of complete self-realization. It's as simple as that. Surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, get his mercy, and attain the self-realization. Okay. So very nicely Prabhupada is describing very simple, straight path. Devotee is asking here, the sloka is asking, put me on the right path to reach you. Prabhupada is giving the simple formula, surrendering to the Supreme Lord. How the surrender, how things happen, that also will be discussed later on this, the purport. Prabhupada is writing very nicely. And now Prabhupada is describing about the fruitive activity, karma kandis. Okay. So in the karma kanda path, Prabhupada is saying that karma kanda is the lowest stage of the endeavor. So this is also a part of the self-realization only, but this is very slow, and this is called the lowest stage of the self-realization. Lowest. So from the lowest, what is the meaning of the lowest? That if you do the karma kanda, gradual, this is a very gradual process. After doing the karma kanda for so many years, we'll attain the jnana kanda. After attaining the jnana for so many years or so many lives, you will come to the stage of a devotee. Okay. So very long process. So that's why this is also a path of self-realization, but this is called the lowest stage of the self-realization endeavor. Okay. Why this is lowest and what is the harm in this path? Because in this path we have to follow the regulative principle, and if we even slightly deviate from the regulative principles of Veda, slightly deviate, even slight deviation, Prabhupada is writing the word slightly deviate. He is including, he is not writing that as soon as such activity even deviates from the regulative principle. Deviate means can have many meaning, but Prabhupada is writing very strictly that even slightly deviate from the regulative principle, these karma become vikarma. Okay. The karma which we are doing will transform into the vikarma. And when vikarma, the karma is transformed into the vikarma, what will happen? It will, such activity become hindrance on the path of the self-realization. So you are doing those activity for the good karma, but that good karma become the bad karma, and that bad karma only is becoming the hindrance on the path of the self-realization. So that is the problem when people does this karma kanda, and this karma becoming vikarma is very rampant in these days. Okay. So you see, act against the interest of the actor. Such vikarma is enacted by the such vikarma is enacted by the illusion living entity simply for sense gratification. Okay. So so first path, Prabhupada, so in the first line only Prabhupada is saying the real path which we need to follow, surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we surrender, wait for his causeless mercy. When we surrender, he gives his causeless mercy, and due to his causeless mercy, we can attain the path of the self-realization. That is one way. Second way, Prabhupada is describing about the karma kanda. The karma kanda a person does, even slight deviation, then person become a vikarmi. Okay, and that will become the hindrance on the path of self-realization. So that is the problem with the karma kanda section. Now, Prabhupada is next describing about the other paths also. So, any volunteer?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please may I?
Yes, Mataji.
Self-realization is possible in the human form of life, but not in other forms. There are 8.4 million species or forms of life, of which the human form, qualified by Brahminical culture, presents the only chance to obtain knowledge of transcendence. Brahminical culture includes truthfulness, sense control, forbearance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in God. It is not that one simply becomes proud of his high parentage. Just as being born the son of a big man affords one a chance to become a big man, so being born the son of a Brahmana gives one a chance to become a Brahmana. But such a birthright is not everything, for one still has to attain the Brahminical qualifications for himself. As soon as one becomes proud of his birth as a son of a Brahmana and neglects to acquire the qualification of a real Brahmana, he at once becomes degraded and falls from the path of self realization. Thus, his life's mission as a human being is defeated. Hare Krishna.
Next paragraph also, this one you read, Mataji.
In the Bhagavad Gita, from 6.41 to 42, we are assured by the Lord that the yoga prashtas or souls fallen from the path of self-realization are given a chance to rectify themselves by taking birth either in the families of good brahmanas or in the family of rich merchants. Such births afford higher chances of self-realization. If these chances are misused due to illusion, one loses a good opportunity of human life afforded by the Almighty Lord.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So you see in these two paragraphs what Prabhupada is describing about the Gyanis. Okay. So he describes that even the Jnana, to attain the Jnana is also very difficult. It is not easy process. Out of 84 lakh species, okay, a person gets the human form of life. And when the human form of life he gets, that doesn't mean that he will attain the transcendental. Okay, human form of life is eligible, or human form of life has a chance to attain the transcendental knowledge, but not everyone attains the transcendental knowledge. Who attains? Who has the Brahmanical culture. So this one is important in this line. So who has the Brahmanical culture? A person who is having the Brahmanical culture, not the Brahmanical birth. Prabhupada is writing Brahmanical culture, who is trained by the Brahmanical culture, who follows that Brahmanical culture, can have the transcendental knowledge, can become eligible to attain the transcendental knowledge. Okay. So taking birth in a Brahmana family and not following the Brahmanical culture, that means you are not eligible for the transcendental knowledge. So out of so many life forms, if you attain a human form of life, and out of that also, if you have the Brahmanical culture, then only you can attain the transcendental knowledge. So few Brahmanical culture has been described here, like in the Bhagavad Gita also, the 18th chapter, Krishna is describing about the 9 quality of a Brahmana. Out of that, few are mentioned here, like truthfulness, sense control, forbearance means tolerance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in God. So these are the Brahmanical culture or the Brahmanical qualities. A person who is having these Brahmanical qualities, what will happen? That person can attain the transcendental knowledge. A person who just take birth in the family of Brahmana, he is in a you can say like he has a opportunity to follow the Brahmanical qualification or the Brahmanical culture, because he has been born in a Brahmanical family and he has been seeing through his parent, through the surrounding, the Brahmanical quality, and it is natural for them to attain those Brahmanical qualities. Okay, so that is one thing by taking birth in a Brahmanical family. But just taking birth in a Brahmanical family and not following the regulative principle, that or the principles of the Brahmanical culture, that means he has fallen from that from from uh, from that path. He is not a real Brahmana. He is not following the Brahmanical culture. On the contrary, if a person is born in a very low family, low society, low family, family of a dog eater, and he follows the Brahmanical culture, he has the quality of the Brahmanical culture, then he is eligible to attain the transcendental knowledge. Okay, so that thing is also there. So that also is very, very rare. Self-realization in the on the path of the Jnana Yoga is also very, very rare, because of this Brahmanical quality. And see the Brahmanical quality, where we are getting this Brahmanical quality nowadays: truthfulness, self-control, forbearance, simplicity, full knowledge, and full faith in the God. Okay, so these are the Brahmanical quality, and one person has to have these Brahmanical qualities, the Brahmanical culture, then he can become eligible to attain the transcendental knowledge. Okay, in the this paragraph, Prabhupada is writing about the yoga bhrashta. Okay, some person who has fallen from the yoga, some person has taken the yoga process and fallen. Then what will happen? He will get the next chance. Okay, so we have in the Bhagavad Gita, we have seen how reincarnation happens, how a person takes birth again. Okay, but if a person is yoga bhrashta, means who has fallen from the path of yoga, he pursued the yoga process for some time, then he has fallen. Then what will happen? He will begin he will again will be given the chance, and he will take birth in the family of a devotee or in a family of rich mercantile family, so that he can follow the path of regulative principles from there. Okay. But if he has done the vikarma only in the previous life, then what will happen? Then he will take birth not in a family of a human being. He will degrade to a lower species, and then his journey will continue, and again he will take birth, many birth again. Then he will come to the human form of life. Then again in the human form of life, he will have the chance to attain the transcendental knowledge. Okay, so that thing is there. So yoga bhrashta in this paragraph, the Prabhupada is writing about the yoga bhrashta. If we even fall from the path, then again we'll be given the chance. We'll take birth again. Reincarnation will happen. We'll take birth again, and the birth will be in the human family, and the family of a devotee, family of rich mercantile family. Then we'll again have the chance to attain the transcendental knowledge again. Okay. So these two we have read. So now from this paragraph, we
Hare
have
Krishna, Guru. Can I?
Swapnil Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna. The regulative principles are such that one who follows them is promoted from platform of fruitive activities to the platform of transcendental knowledge. After many lifetimes of cultivating transcendental knowledge, one becomes perfect when he surrenders unto the Lord. This is the general procedure. But one who surrenders at the very beginning, as recommended in this mantra, at once surpasses all preliminary stages simply by adopting the devotional attitude. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 18.66, the Lord at once takes charge of such a surrendered soul and frees him from all the reactions to his sinful acts. There are many sinful reactions involved in Karma Kanda activities, whereas in Jnana Kanda, the path of philosophical development, the number of such sinful activities is smaller. But in devotional service to the Lord, the path of bhakti, there is practically no chance of incurring sinful reactions because a devotee of the Lord attains all the good qualifications of the Lord Himself. What to speak of those of a Brahmana? A devotee automatically attains the qualifications of an expert Brahmana authorized to perform sacrifices, even though the devotee may not have taken his birth in a Brahmana family. Such is the omnipotence of the Lord. He can make a man born in a Brahmana family as degraded as a low-born dog-eater, and he can also make a low-born dog-eater superior to a qualified Brahmana simply on the strength of devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So you see this paragraph, Prabhupada is describing this is a general procedure. What is the general procedure? If you do the regulative principle, follow the regulative principle from the fruitive worker, you will become a transcendental. You will become a from the fruitive activity, you will come to the level of transcendental knowledge. Okay, and after attaining the transcendental knowledge for many ages or many births, okay, someone will be very rare who will take up the devotional service, and when one takes the devotional service, that he comes to the perfect stage when he surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now you have known, when we surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we seek for His mercy, and when we have mercy, we are on the right path. Okay, so through His mercy only we become self-realized. Okay, so that was the only thing which we have read in the translation, that in the purport, by surrendering to the Supreme Lord and praying for His causeless mercy, a devotee can progress on the path of complete self-realization. So complete self-realization process is surrender to the Supreme Person and ask for His mercy, beg for His mercy, and when we receive His mercy, through His mercy only we progress on the path of the complete self-realization. Okay, so general path is follow the fruitive yoga process, fruitive process, then come to the path of the transcendental knowledge, acquire the transcendental knowledge through many years, many ages, many births. And when we attain the transcendental knowledge, the final perfection of the transcendental knowledge will happen when we surrender the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we surrender, what will happen? We seek for His mercy, and when we have mercy, we'll have complete self-realization. So that was the general process. So Prabhupada is writing, this is the general procedure. But the next procedure which is being mentioned in the sloka, for which the sloka is asking that please put me on the right path. So these are also the path, but this cannot be called as a perfect path. What is the perfect path? The perfect path is But one who surrender at the very beginning, as recommended in this mantra, at once surpasses all preliminary stages simply by adopting to the devotional attitude. The perfect path is to adopt the devotional attitude, is to adopt the devotional attitude. What will happen when we adopt the devotional attitude? The problem in the karma kanda was because it can convert into the vikarma anytime. Karma kanda, you are doing the karma and it can become vikarma anytime. But in the devotional attitude, when a person does the activity as per the devotional attitude, what will happen? It won't have the chance to do the vikarma. Why? Because Lord is taking care of everything, whatever activity a person is doing, because whatever activity a person does in the devotional service, he does for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he surrender all his activity to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when he does the activity, when he surrender everything to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what Krishna does? Krishna takes care of everything. Krishna takes charge of everything, and there is very little chance of vikarma. There is very little chance of vikarma. That's why there is no hindrance on that path. Okay, so that problem was there in the karma kanda section. What was the problem in the jnana kanda section? Jnana kanda section, we have to take birth in the Brahm. We need Brahminical culture. Okay, so Brahminical culture we need, but here when a person does the devotional services, he doesn't face this problem also. Why? Because when a person does the devotional service, he is acting in the devotional attitude. What will happen? He will attain the qualities of Krishna because he in constant connection with Krishna. He is constantly attached with Krishna. He is doing the devotional service. He is thinking about him the 24/7. He is merged. His thinking is merged in Krishna. His mind is merged in Krishna. His intelligence is merged in Krishna. Then if he is in this stage, what will happen? He will gradually acquire all the good quality which a devotee wants. Okay. Sometimes we see that devotee, except not devotee, so-called devotee, except doing the devotional service, he does everything. Okay. Devotional service means he remembering the main purpose of doing the devotional service is to remember Krishna, is to think Krishna, is to surrender to Krishna, thinking about Krishna. Okay. And and the final thing is loving Krishna, to attain the love of Godhead. So that thing is there. Okay. So for that we do the devotional service. The aim or the goal of the doing devotional service is to attain the love of Krishna, to attain love of the Godhead. Okay. So that is the aim of doing the devotional service. Okay. But sometimes we see that devotee does every kind of activity. Devotees are involved in the book distribution, devotees are involved in the kirtan, devotees are involved in the different kind of devotional service. Okay. But the main thing, the main purpose which is missing is the love of Godhead. Okay. The 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 sadhana, the sadhana, that is called the chanting, the perfect chanting, um that is doing the japa. Okay. So that is missing. Sincere and and focused japa. So that thing is missing. Okay. So when we miss that thing and do every time a devotional service, whatever devotional service would we do? Okay. So many devotional services. If you go to temple, if you meet a devotee and you ask for the services, so many services he can give you. So many, whatever services are there in the temple, you can do every activity, every service, but that is not the main thing. Okay. The main thing of Krishna consciousness is the consciousness. Okay. The side product will assist you for that consciousness. If you does the devotional service, that will help you to remember Krishna. If you engage yourself in so many devotional service, what will happen? It will help you to remember Krishna. But if that attitude is not there, that we have to remember Krishna, and if you do so many devotional services, that services won't be devotional service. That services will be only the counted as the services. That services won't be counted devotional services. Okay. Because the consciousness is not on Krishna. These side activities are actually for us to remember Krishna, so that we can remember Krishna, so that we can remember Krishna. And if we does all the devotional activity, okay, we are feeling very nice. We are doing the devotional services. So many people are asking for me. We had does the devotional services, and so many we did this kirtan. So many people were um, so many people were happy and they were encouraging us. Okay, they were saying so many good things for us. Okay, that thing is not the real purpose of doing the kirtan. Okay, the real purpose of doing kirtan is to please Krishna, not to please the audience, so that audience will please and tell, oh, what nice kirtan you have does. Okay, or just take the example of the class. Okay, you take the class, or I am taking the class, and after the class so many people, oh, very nice class it was very realized class. These are not motive for taking the classes. The motive for the taking classes to please Krishna, so that Krishna will be pleased. So many people are hearing about Krishna and Krishna will be pleased. Okay, so that motive should be there, that we have to remember Krishna, and as a service to Krishna we are doing this as a service, so that we can remember him, so that we can surrender to him. Okay, so that attitude, if that attitude is missing, then there is no point in doing the devotion service if that attitude is missing. So first attitude is to develop the surrenderance to Krishna. And when we do surrenderance to Krishna, when we are in the right path of devotion, when we follow the devotional principles very nicely, then what will happen? All the qualities which are there of a devotee will come automatically. So that is what Prabhupada is writing here. If a person does devotional services, a person does the devotional services, a person is following the path of devotional services, what will happen? In constant association with Krishna. And if he is in constant association with Krishna, he will develop the quality of Krishna, what to speak of the quality of the Brahmana. So he doesn't need a Brahminical culture. He surpasses the Brahminical culture also. He develops the Vaishnava culture. Vaishnava culture means he has now the qualities because of the constant remembrance of Krishna, because of the constant association with Krishna. He developed the quality of a devotee. He developed a quality of a Vaishnava. Okay, so he surpasses that stage also. Okay, so he doesn't need the Brahminical culture also to attain the transcendental knowledge. Okay, he doesn't need even the transcendental knowledge, because the mature fruit of the transcendental knowledge is to surrender to Krishna. We have read on the first line only that of this paragraph, that the general principle in that, after many lifetime of cultivating the transcendental knowledge, one become perfect. And when one becomes perfect, when he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Okay, so when a devotee is there, he is fine. He from the starting only he surrendered to Krishna. He's he's perfectly surrendered to Krishna. Then the general path is not required for him. Okay, so the mature fruit, or the fruit of the tree, is the main thing. Okay, so after attaining the transcendental knowledge, if a person surrenders to Krishna, that is called the perfect thing. But a devotee is from the initial part only he surrendered to Krishna. That's why uh, that's why he is in perfect path. Okay, so that thing is there. So Brahminical culture also he doesn't need. Okay, so that thing is there. So we should focus on pure devotional service. Not that we need to develop these quality, that quality, those quality. Once one person was asking His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj that, Maharaj, I want to learn to sing very nicely, so that I can sing for um, Krishna. Okay, so like that. So I can sing for Krishna. I want to learn to sing very nicely, so that I can sing for Krishna. Radhanath Swami Maharaj said, or he told, that we don't need to um, ask for these quality of Krishna, because just a single desire if we have of singing for Krishna, so that we can have very nice voice, so that we can sing for Krishna, can lead to take us next birth. Okay, and in next birth what will happen, we don't know. We may take birth for singing, but so many deviations are there in this life. So many attachment deviations are there, so we may deviate. Okay, so that thing is there. So we should not have a single desire also. What we should develop, what attitude we should develop, is the attitude of the pure devotional service. Okay, so pure devotional service without tinge of any materialism, just the pure devotional service. No need of developing the quality of this much devotion, or the devotional service, this devotional service, that devotional service. All devotional service cultivate on the one thing, that is the pure devotional service. So we should be thinking, or we should be working on the path of the pure devotional service. All other quality will develop automatically if a person becomes a pure devotee. We don't need to develop these quality other than that we need to surrender ourselves to Krishna. When we surrender, all the qualities will gradually develop. Okay, so that thing is the, and that is the purpose of a guru. Okay, guru wants us to surrender to Krishna. He doesn't want that you become perfect in doing managerial work, you do perfect on doing this work, you do perfect on singing kirtan, you do perfect on doing bhajan. Okay, guru doesn't want all those activities, those things. He just want us to become perfect devotee. Okay, perfect devotee. So that is the purpose of guru, that he wants us to become perfect devotee, and we should also focus on that thing. Okay, so that thing was there. Okay, so now let's see how Krishna guides in our life. That is also being described in the next path. Okay, so any person? Yes, from here.
Correction.
Manoj
Since,
Prabhu.
since the omnipotent Lord is situated within the heart of everyone, he can give directions to his sincere devotees by which they can attain the right path. Such directions are especially offered to the devotee even he desires something else. As far as others are concerned, God gives sanction to the doer only at the risk of the doer. But in the case of a devotee, the Lord directs him in such a way that he never acts wrongly. The Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.42 says, Sopadamulam bhajata priyasya tyaktanyabhavasya hari prareshaha vikannayaccha patitam kathanchit dhunoti sarvan hidi sannivishtaha. The Lord is so kind to the devotee who is fully surrendered to his lotus feet that even though the devotee sometimes falls in the entanglement of vikarma, acts against the Vedic directions, the Lord at once rectifies such mistakes from within his heart. This is because the devotees are very dear to the Lord. Hare Krishna. Can I continue?
So till here you have read. No problem.
Yes.
So let's discuss from here. So Krishna is there in everyone's heart. Okay, and he is guiding. He is guiding a normal person also. He is guiding the devotee also. Okay, but for a devotee, you see, such directions are specifically offered to a devotee, even if he desires something else. The path of self-realization, the perfect path of self-realization, what he has to do, what he has not to do, is direction is given by the Lord, Supreme Lord. And how he does? He does in the three ways. The three ways which we are going to discuss now in the next paragraph, that how Lord helps a devotee, okay? And how a Lord helps on the path of the devotee so that he can follow that path, he doesn't fall from that path. For that, Lord helps the devotee. So how he helps, that also we are going to see. So from this part, one can read these two paragraphs.
Hare Krishna. Can I, Prabhuji, if no one is volunteering?
Rohini Mataji, you have already
Yes.
read.
Yeah, that's why I asked if no one is volunteering.
So many devotees are there. Yes,
Can I
anyone?
read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Pranams. In this mantra of Sri Isopanishad, the devotee prays to the Lord to rectify him from within his heart. To err is human. A conditioned soul is very often apt to commit mistakes, and the only remedial measure to take against such unintentional sins is to give oneself up to the lotus feet of the Lord so that he may guide one to avoid such pitfalls. The Lord takes charge of fully surrendered souls. Thus, all problems are solved simply by surrendering oneself unto the Lord and acting in terms of his directions. Such directions are given to the sincere devotee in two ways. One is by way of the saints, scriptures, and spiritual master, and the other is by way of the Lord himself, who resides within the heart of everyone. Thus, the devotee, fully enlightened with Vedic knowledge, is protected in all respects. Should I read further, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, this paragraph also you read.
Thank you, Prabhu. Vedic knowledge is transcendental and cannot be understood by mundane educational procedures. One can understand the Vedic mantras only by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tatha guru. If one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, it is to be understood that he has obtained the grace of the Lord. The Lord appears as the spiritual master for the devotee. Thus, the spiritual master, the Vedic injunctions, and the Lord himself from within all guide the devotee in full strength. In this way, there is no chance for a devotee to fall again into the mire of material illusion. The devotee, thus protected all around, is sure to reach the ultimate destination of perfection. The entire process is hinted at in this mantra, and Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.17 to 20 explains it further.
Okay. So this two paragraph very nicely Prabhupada is describing that how a devotee is protected. Okay. So to err is human. So as a human being, we have the senses and we do all the errors. Okay. We can do all the errors or the wrong activity also we can do. But still the Lord guides the devotee. How he guides? You see, the Lord takes charge of fully surrendered soul. So if a soul is fully surrendered to Krishna, Lord takes charge. How? Thus, all the problems are solved simply by surrendering oneself unto the Lord and acting in terms of his direction. Perfect thing. Prabhupada is writing again the most straight path. Okay. In the initial first line only, Prabhupada has given the path that we have to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we surrender fully into the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he gives us mercy, and due to his mercy, we attain the perfect self-realization. So that was the first line. Now again, Prabhupada is writing, thus all problems are solved simply by surrendering oneself unto the Lord and acting in terms of his direction. Okay. Whatever direction he has given in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, he is giving. Okay. And how he gives the direction, that also is being given in the next paragraph. Okay. So Lord gives the direction, so we have to surrender to the Lord and follow that direction. Okay, so that is the most simple and straight path, and we don't have to take all the tension because we are fully surrendered. So Lord takes charge of everything, and there is very less chance of fall down also. How we'll see. Okay. So two ways are there through which we get the instruction, the direction, through which the Lord gives the direction. One may say that Lord doesn't come in front of us to give the direction. How Lord is giving the direction? Okay, we have surrendered to the Lord. How the Lord is giving the direction? He doesn't come in front of the eyes of ours and give the direction. Okay. So how the Lord gives direction? There are two ways. One is by the way of saint, scripture, and spiritual master, and second is by the Lord himself, who is sitting inside the heart as a form of Paramatma. Okay, so two ways Lord is giving the direction. One is inside, Lord is out, inside us in the form of Paramatma, who gives the direction, and the second is the Lord who is outside in the form of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Okay, so when Guru is there, whatever instruction Guru is giving, that is also for the persons to surrender. Okay, for the person as a direction for the person. So a person, what he has to do is he just have to surrender to the Guru, because he is the external manifestation of the Paramatma or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the scripture and the saints. So Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Okay, all three. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Scriptures, Vedic scriptures we should read, and we should follow the Vedic scriptures so that we don't fall down. We should follow the Guru, okay, who is there to correct ourselves in every step, and the saints, okay, Sadhu, who has given us the path, the Guru Parampara, who has given us the path, okay, and who has shown us the path. So Guru Parampara is there, scriptures is there, and Guru is there, okay, who is the external, these are the external manifestation of Paramatma. So Lord is there in front of us. One is, Lord is inside our heart, one Lord, the mercy of the Lord is in front of us in the form of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Okay, just we have to follow the surrender and follow. Surrender to the saints, surrender to the scriptures and the spiritual master, and follow the instruction. That is the way to perfect our life. Simple way. Okay, so the saint, scripture, and spiritual master. Other way is by the Lord Himself, one who resides inside the heart of everyone. Okay, so when we follow that, then that is the perfect one. Okay, and then the next paragraph it is written. One can understand the Vedic mantra only the word again, the only by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master. Only by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master. Okay. So we cannot understand. So Gyan Yoga also is very difficult to process because we don't surrender into that for a spiritual master and the Lord. Okay. So when we don't surrender, then it is very difficult to even understand the correct meaning of the mantra. Okay. So one can understand the Vedic mantra only by the grace of the Lord and the spiritual master. One more very important line is, if one takes shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, it is to be understood that he has obtained the grace of the Lord. So if you see the first line, by surrendering to the Lord and praying for His causes mercy, the devotee can progress in the path of the complete self-realization. If one attains the bona fide Guru, that is also the, the, the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because due to the grace of the Supreme Personality, due to grace of Krishna only, due to the mercy of Krishna only, we get the spiritual master, and by following the instruction of the spiritual master, we can progress in the path of the self-realization. Okay, so here also a very important line. If one takes shelter of bona fide spiritual master, not a simply spiritual master, not any Tom, Dick, and Harry, bona fide spiritual master who comes in the parampara, who follow the Guru Sadhu, whose life is dedicated for the Guru and Sadhu, the parampara and the scripture, and whose words are in alignment with the words of the scripture as well as the words of the parampara. Okay, so that person is called a bona fide spiritual master. If one takes shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, then that is the most important thing. It is to be understood that he has obtained the grace of the Lord. How important it is that if we get even a bona fide spiritual master, then that is also a grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and just we have to follow the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of the Guru, and we are on the path of the correct path of the self-realization. Okay. One again, the Lord appears as the spiritual master for the devotee. So spiritual master is external manifestation of Lord. Okay. So he comes in the life of the devotee in the form of the spiritual master. Lord comes in the form of spiritual master in the life of devotee. Okay. So just if you have a spiritual master, okay, how nice it is that you have got the grace of the Lord. Just you have to do is to follow the instruction and you are in the perfect path. Okay. So devotee is fully protected. Why? Because he is following the spiritual master, he is following the Vedas, okay, Vedic injunction, he is following the parampara system. So if this way he is following, then in this way there is no chance of a devotee to fall down again into the mire of material illusion. Okay, just we have to do is follow. Okay, devotee is thus protected from all rounds and is sure to reach the ultimate destination of perfection. Sure to reach the ultimate destination of perfection. The path is just surrender to a bona fide Guru and follow his instruction. Just as simple as that. And the devotee is thus protected from all round and is sure to reach the ultimate destination of perfection. Okay. So that thing is there. So last paragraph, one devotee can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam. Hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord is itself an act of piety. The Lord wants everyone to hear and chant His glories because He is the well-wisher of all living entities. By hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, one becomes cleansed of all undesirable things, and then one's devotion becomes fixed upon the Lord. At this stage, the devotee acquires the Brahminical qualifications, and the effects of the lower modes of nature, passion and ignorance, completely vanish. The devotee becomes fully enlightened by virtue of his devotional service, and thus he comes to know the path of the Lord and the way to attain him. As all doubts diminish, he becomes a pure devotee. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Isopanishad, the knowledge that brings one nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So you see what is the final word? He becomes a pure devotee. All his doubt diminishes and he becomes a pure devotee. That is the aim of the life, to become a pure devotee. That is the aim to attend these classes. That is the aim to all those services which we are doing. That is the aim of this human form of life. That is the aim of all the activity which we are doing. That is the aim of all the activity which we have done till now. The aim is to attain or become a pure devotee. Okay, that aim we should always remember. That aim we should always keep in front of our mind, that this is our aim. And what is the way? Here is the way: hearing and the chanting the glory of the Lord. This is the way: hearing and chanting. That is mentioned that we have to do all those kind of activity, all devotional. So in the devotional activity, generally we club all those things. Okay, so many things we club. Okay, you do this thing, you do this thing, this is also devotional activity, that is also devotional activity. Yes, everything is devotional activity if it is done for Krishna. But if in the mind also, if it is in the mind only Krishna is not there, then nothing is going to happen. In the intention also Krishna is not there, then nothing is going to happen. So mind and intelligence would have Krishna, and when we do with that intelligence all the activity, then activity can be called as Krishna's activity or the devotional activity. To develop that, what we need to do is to hear and chant, strict hearing and chanting, serious hearing and chanting, okay, regular hearing and chanting, okay, with faith and surrenderance. Okay, so hearing and chanting regularly, we should hear daily something, we should hear daily, we should read. Prabhupada has written all those things. Actually, these are in the dictaphone he has spoken. When we read, that is actually we are hearing. Okay, so we should read daily something about Krishna from the Prabhupada book. We should read daily. It's a simple process. We don't have to spend too much time. Okay, we are not progressing in our spiritual path. We are not getting from whatever level we are here today. We were there in 1 year, 2 year back. Also, we were in the same level. Now we are not progressing. Why we are not progressing? Because these two things we are not doing nicely. Hearing and chanting, serious dedicated chanting and hearing. Okay. When we progress, our hearing will improve, our chanting will also improve, our reading will also improve, our chanting will also improve. If it is not improving, that itself is a sign that we are not seriously doing it. Seriousness is required. If we are doing seriously, if you are chanting seriously, sitting and very with focused mind, if you're chanting seriously, then you will see that chanting quality is improving gradually. Okay, let the mind travel here and there, but our endeavor should be there, that we sit at one place and we chant, sit at one place and chant, sit at one place and focus chanting. Here, from hearing only, the chanting will also improve. So when we hear regularly from the Guru and Sadhu, you will see that if you are seriously with focused, if you are hearing even for 1 month, you will see your chanting is improving. Leave the 1 month, if you seriously hear for 7 days also and think about it, if you mentally imagine and think about it, you speak those things to certain other person, you realize those things and speak to certain other person, you will see that your chanting is improving. You will think, you will see that you are progressing in the devotional path. So even 1 week, 1 month serious hearing and chanting is enough. Okay, so with that we improve in our path of devotional services. Okay, so with this we end our Isopanishad classes, and if you have any question, if you have any correction, if you have any realization, you can share. And after the class, we need to discuss something. So if the classes are over, please if the question answer is over, let me know. I will stop the live sharing, then we can discuss. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams. Can I ask you a silly question, please?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Prabhu, in the last two verses, Krishna and Srila Prabhupada have clearly mentioned that surrender to the Lord is the easiest way to get to the lotus feet of the Lord and probably prevent future births or go into worse life forms. And it seems to be a simple process when we read it. But uh, probably the brahmacharis and Srila Prabhupada are the ones who are totally surrendered. And of course, the people who are initiated by bona fide spiritual masters also are in that state of surrender. But what about the others, Prabhu, like neophytes or people like me who are very materially conditioned, who are very attached to people and objects? What is the meaning of surrender, or how do I do it?
Okay. So surrender here means surrender to the words of Guru. Okay. So we have, just like, it doesn't mean that if any person is in Grihastha ashram, if any person is not a brahmachari, if a person is not has taken initiation from Srila Prabhupada, he cannot progress in the path of devotional service, okay, or path of self-realization. The person who is brahmachari, he also faces the same problem which a grihastha faces, okay, because Maya is very strong, okay, he has different problem. Grihastha are little bit more safer, okay, because Maya in the form of like like uh, like grihastha is, I think, it is like more uh, in he deals with all problem, and then he, I cannot say that grihastha is more protected than the brahmachari, but yes, both faces the same problem, that both are in the same problem. The solution is the surrender, okay. When a person surrender, whether he is a brahmachari or a grihastha, whether if he surrenders to the words of Guru, if he surrenders to the words of the Shastra, if he surrenders whatever Srila Prabhupada is saying, okay, then he is in perfect path, okay. And how he can surrender? By reading and chanting, okay, by hearing and chanting. Seriously hearing, seriously chanting, seriously hearing, seriously chanting. This way, that is the way of progress in the spiritual path. That is the way to develop the faith on the words of Guru and the Shastra, by seriously hearing from a perfect devotee. Okay, I'm not saying that you should. I'm saying that you should hear from a perfect devotee. Okay, not just like me. I'm not a perfect devotee. I'm. You can say that so much contamination, so much fallen there. You should hear the perfect devotee. So many guru is there. Our Guru Maharaj is there. So many gurus are there. Okay, and Srila Prabhupada is there. Srila Prabhupada has written all the books for us. So when we read that thing, also that is also reading and hearing. Okay, and when we read, we have to just contemplate on that. We have to think on that, and when we go through that process, gradually we'll see that our surrender to Krishna increases. Okay, so initially it may seems difficult, okay, but gradually it will take up, okay. So we have to seriously read, seriously chant, okay, and then we can progress, okay. This is not like I may be saying, but I'm saying it so that I can also follow it. That is not, that doesn't mean that I'm very much advanced and very much these things, okay. I'm saying it so that I can also follow that thing, and I can also progress in that path. That is called it is for my purification, as well as the purification for all the persons who are hearing, okay. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Can I ask you one more question related to the previous verse, because I read it and came today only? Is it okay if I ask you?
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, in the 17th mantra, the learning that I got was, but three actually. It's a, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. And I'm a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I belong to Krishna, and I will return to Krishna probably if I surrender and follow the path. Now, is there some way my soul, I am a spirit soul, yes, and I have free will, and that some kind of some small independence as well. So, why does my soul not listen to the super soul or exercise this free will in not so nice ways? like wasting time or procrastinating or things like that? Why doesn't it remember?
Okay. So your question is that you are connected. You're asking that you are connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but your free will is there, and that is not letting you follow the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like that, your question is.
Yes, Prabhu, and also that the Lord is within me, yet I am not surrendering, or I'm not becoming, progressing as it should be.
Mhm. Okay. This is, we may remember from Bhagavad Gita only, because Krishna says that his Maya is very strong. His Maya is divine as well as it is very strong. Okay. And we may overcome this Maya if we surrender to Krishna. So that Krishna is speaking. So from that perspective, we can see that the Maya is very strong. Okay. And this Maya is making us fool that this world is a place of happiness. This world is your only place where we can get all the results, everything you can get. Okay. The Maya is making us fool in that direction. And we are also following this Maya because Maya is very strong. And when we are under the three modes of material nature, that is Maya. And when we are under these three modes of material nature, we follow all the footstep of those the three modes of material nature, whether we are in Satoguna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna, like that. And Maya is very strong, and Maya is letting us or making us dance. Okay. Now, the thing is, the next part comes under like that why we are not listening to the Supreme Person who is inside us, why we are following the dictation of the Maya. Okay. So that thing require the mercy of a guru or Krishna. Okay, that thing only require the mercy of guru. When we have mercy of the guru and Krishna, then we follow the principle which is mentioned in the path. Okay, otherwise we may fall in the dictation, and that comes when we come into the association of a devotee, association of a guru. Okay, we get a guru. Okay, so that Krishna gives mercy in the form of the association of guru, association of the devotees. Okay, so when we have that association, then gradually we develop our relationship with Krishna gradually. Okay, so that thing is there. Okay, but till the time when we don't have the association of guru, when we don't have the association of the devotee, till that time, whatever we are following, whatever activity we are doing, we are not actually knowing about Krishna, and activity which you are following, that may be the under the guidance of the Maya only. Okay, so like that we can see that though we are connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we forget our relationship, and that forgetfulness only is causing all the problems. Okay, and maybe due to mercy of Guru, maybe due to mercy of the Brahmana, the causeless mercy, that is called causeless mercy. Causeless mercy means kripa. That is Hindi word is kripa. Okay, so kripa is like Nityananda Prabhu gave kripa to the Jagai and Madhai. Okay. Jagai and Madhai causeless mercy. They were not qualified. Okay. So similarly, we are also not qualified. Okay. The Jagai and Madhai were not qualified, but due to Nityananda Prabhu, they get the kripa of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, we are also not qualified. We need causeless mercy. Okay. So the causeless mercy, when causeless mercy is there, then we can surrender to the supreme, then we can surrender to the Supreme Person. But that causeless mercy is also not the way. Okay, there are three types of kripa is there. Okay, one is called, or one can see the perfection we get from the three ways. Okay, one is called the perfection is called siddhi. So one can get the siddhi from one is called the three ways we see. One is called the Nitya Siddha. Okay, Nitya Siddha is the devotees who are there in the spiritual world, and always they are surrendered to Krishna. They came to to this world for performing some pastime with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or under some instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those are called Nitya Siddha. Second is called the Sadhana Siddha. Sadhana Siddha means who does the sadhana, does the devotional service and perfect themselves and goes back to Godhead. Okay, and third is called the Kripa Siddha. Kripa Siddha means the person who needs the causeless mercy. Okay, so the most common path is the sadhana siddha, which we need to do and perform our sadhana and go back to Godhead. Okay, so that thing, and that process will start happening from the association part. When we associate with the devotee, when we associate with the, before that we don't understand only what is correct for us, what is not correct for us, because we are under the Maya. Okay, so I think that that may answer your question, Mataji. Or
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I
Hare
think
Krishna.
if there are any other questions.
Okay, so we don't have any questions. So we have to discuss about the timing. So we'll just